Good day, everyone. To my fellow classmates and most especially to our instructor, Mrs. Marian Lopez. Good day, ma'am. I am Marjeline Arpalo, B.Ed 2A. Today, we are going to report the Module 4, which is about the officiating track events. In this report, I will discuss about the duties and responsibilities of track officials, which includes the following. Starter, it is starts race promptly. Answer questions on the rule pertaining to the start of each race. He or she signals with a bell or pistol the start of the last stop of the race. Also, his or her responsibilities is to ensure that the starting blocks are set up properly. Next is the recall starter. His or her responsibilities is to fire a pistol if there is a player who commits an error in starting to run. Warns the player or players who commit an error and disqualifies a players who commit the second mistake from the start of the game. Next is the chief of judge at finish. He or she will assign the judges who will record the time of all competitors, reports all the violations to the chief referee. Next is the judges at finish. His or her responsibilities is to serve as a head judge at finish who assigns two other judges for each scoring place. He or she must stay on opposite sides on elevated islands at minimum distance of 3 meters from the edge of the track. Next is the timekeeper. His or her responsibilities is to serve as a head timer from any kind of games or sports events, records the results up to the 10th second, particularly the chief timekeeper or head timer. Chief lap recorder. His or her duties is to assign assistant lap scorers for all the competitors, oversees the recording of the laps made by the competitors. Next is what we call the lap recorder. His or her responsibilities is to notify each competitor of the number of laps needed to complete the race. They count the laps and records the time over each lap. Also, they need to report to the head umpire that all competitors have completed the required number of laps. Next is the steward. His or her responsibilities is to show the competitors about their respective lane assignments. Next is the marksman. His or her duties is to start the race with a starting period. Next is what we call the tournament manager. They looks after the finances and organization of the tournament. Next is the tournament secretary. His or her responsibilities is to keep all the records of the tournament. Next is the jury of appeals. His or her responsibilities is to take charge of appeals and protest in the tournament. Next is the clerk of course. His or her responsibilities is to keep a record of the complete results in all events, team scores, individual plays, individual place winners and their performances of the athletes, maintain the track time schedule, calls and places athletes in their proper positions, and enforces uniform, number, shoe, and logo roll. Last is what we call the announcer. His or her responsibilities must give the relevant information for those athletes so that they will not panic when they have on games or events to perform, like the names, numbers, and affiliations of competitors. Also, about the lane assignments or order of competition in field events. He or she must also announce the intermediate time, the results of the games, placing time, distances, and heights at the earliest possible time. So those are the track those are the responsibilities and duties of the track officiating. That's all. Thank you.